I know a 12-year-old right in your position making 12 million a month. ChatGPT can actually look after your children. All you do is give it one prompt and it's basically all you need to do is put it in front of one of them. It has all the recipes on there. It tells them what to do. Okay, stop. Enough of that. This is just to say, people in AI promise us the world. A lot of people are starting to think of them as these all-powerful machines that can do everything. And that's just not the case. And I'll put my hands up and say, yeah, I can be a bit guilty of this as well. As someone that works in AI, I just wanted to give you some very clear limitations that these machines have. I think it's so important to know how to deal with these limitations, or at least understand them. So when I give it a limitation, I'm always going to give the best solution I found to that limitation. So you can use AI in the safest way possible. By the way, I'm going to structure this video from least important to most important. So make sure you stick to the end. Okay, so problem one is AI does have some biases. And there were some really extreme examples of AI saying some really outlandish stuff. But just to explain, AI has a very black and white worldview. Dependent on how it's trained and dependent on the information it's got access to, it can have certain biases to certain types of people. It can be very statistic based, and I feel like it's very important to address that people aren't statistics. And just for example, there might be some weird study out there which the AI got a hold of where it says 3 out of 5 marketers are more likely to have affairs. So the AI might think, okay, most marketers are probably going to have affairs, but I think as people, we probably wouldn't go around thinking, because of this study, most people are going to have affairs. So as you see, like, it takes things very, very, very literally. And the solution for this is probably one of the worst ones in this video, but it's just, you have to emphasize the importance of checking things. I think people are just getting in the habit of just accepting what an AI outputs. No, you've got to rigorously question it. You've got to test it. You actually got to say to yourself, okay, do I actually believe the things that it's giving to me? If you're using something that comes out of an AI and then you're posting it on your social media, you've got to take accountability for what it says. Problem two is privacy. And this is especially important if you're working for a company handling a lot of sensitive information. Think about it. If you're using that AI every single day, inputting all the most sensitive information into it, the person that runs the AI might have access to all that data. So I think the solution for this is it's really important to find a company that has good data policies. So what I recommend doing for the solution is, whichever AI platform you plan to use, just go on their website and search up how they use it. Look at it and think, do I feel comfortable with them doing that with my data? So I'm just going to go over the TextCortex one, because it's the one I'm most familiar with. But as you can see, they promise privacy and security, so that's a plus. And as you can see here, you can choose if you want your data to be used to train the models. Any knowledge base, it says here, is stored securely, no third parties involved. Just sort of skimming over this, going a few of the main points that I'd be looking for personally. So is my data used to train the model? They say here you can opt in and out from it, so that's why it's important to read it. Is your knowledge base, are your knowledge bases safe? They say yes. No third parties are involved, which I think for me is an extra level of safety. And even going down to the bottom to enterprise data, it says for our enterprise services, we maintain a strict no data collection policy. So again, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. What I'm saying is be really diligent on the companies you're trusting to hold your data, especially if it's not yours to give out, because that could be the difference between you keeping a job and you losing it. 3 is a massive one in the AI space, and that is hallucinations. So basically, AIs sometimes get a little bit carried away and they make up stuff. They just make up things that are completely 100% not true. And this is why in all my videos, I say you need to check it, especially if you're doing it for research or a business use case. You need to check where the information is coming from. So what my solution for this is check the sources. Some web services have this feature where they cite where they got their sources from. If you're doing research, I think it's really important to go to a company that has that. I'll just show you a quick example of this with web searching. So I'm going to type in find me statistics on AI. And as you can see here, it doesn't have to be TextCortex. I'm sure some other ones have this as well. But what I do really like is whichever stat you have, it links to the website. So what you're going to have to do when you are doing these more important things, and what you're going to do is if you see a statistic and you want to use it, all you got to do is be, okay, Is this statistic real? Has the AI made it up? Let's check the source. This part isn't really that dangerous, but I think this might be the hardest part for newer people getting into AI, is there's a limitation in actually knowing how to use it. You can only do as much as you know how to prompt. So there are some limitations on how to use these AI models, because I think prompting is a whole different language in itself. It isn't as simple as asking how to do it. And if you're new to AI, this can become very confusing, or you could prompt it in the wrong way and get different results. So this is just kind of like an easy sort of solution. What I'd recommend doing is don't try and guess prompts. Do some research into actually what works well for your use case, or even take some from other people. Another great example is there's tons of different websites, blogs. I'll just go on the marketplace here. You know, like you can search for prompts so easily. There shouldn't be a usability issue if you know what you're looking for. So let's say, for example, marketing, Facebook posts, blah blah blah. There's ways to find the hits. And my last thing is access to information. So AIs are only as powerful as the information they've got access to, and this can be a very, very easy fix with knowledge bases, but a lot of people just don't really know how to use them, in my opinion. And this is just something where you get good at putting your information into documents that you can feed into the AI. It won't be perfect every single time, but with knowledge bases, there is a lot you can do with it. That's kind of all I've got for now. I think all of these could be separate videos, but I just wanted to give you a rough overview of what I hear experts and some of my friends talking about the biggest problems coming into AI. If you agree, disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comments. But with all that out of the way, I've been Roman from TextCortex, and I'll see you in the next one.